Hi YouTube family! Since so many of you have been asking me about how I film my videos, I decided to film a behind the scenes / tutorial on how these videos are made. These are the tools I'll be using to film. My Sony a7R III, my new iPhone 11 Pro, the 24-70mm zoom lens, and the Pro Mist 1/8 filter. This camera is mirrorless, which means that it captures really well under low light. I chose the zoom lens because it's a solid workhorse. I can use it for landscape photography, commercial photography, portraits, and as you may know, video. I found that with this versatile lens, I don't need to switch between any other lenses for my scope of work. Next is the Pro Mist filter. This filter adds a very subtle but noticeable difference to my lighting. It softens the harsh edges of the light, making my shots look more ethereal. Here's a comparison between the two shots. The one on the left does not have the Pro Mist filter on. The one on the right does. The difference is subtle, but still significant. When it comes to camera support, I use this mega tripod for bird's eye shots and high angles. It has fantastic quality for the price. I also use the normal size tripod for most of my everyday filming, and the smaller tripod for my iPhone. All the gear will be linked in my description. Before I start shooting, I always make a shot list to ensure that the filming day will be smooth and efficient. First, I list out the scene number. Then, I set the location of each scene. After that, I determine the type of shot for each scene. These are the types of shots I use for my videos. The extra wide shot. This shot is perfect for capturing the curvature of the earth or to convey the vastness of a place. I use this shot to capture the city sometimes. The wide shot. You'll see this shot often in my balcony videos. The wide shot captures the essence of a place and makes the viewer feel like they are there in the setting with you. Mid shot. This shot is perfect for single movements like typing, sipping tea, or eating. It creates a casual atmosphere between the person on screen and the viewer. Medium close-up. The medium close-up gives just enough proximity to create intimacy with the viewer, but isn't as up close and personal as the normal close-up shot. Close-up. This shot is perfect for capturing food, interesting patterns, or highlighting an important detail of a scene. The extreme close-up. The one thing I can't do with this lens is a true extreme close-up shot. I would need a macro lens. But with an extreme close-up, you should be able to view details like the texture of this little sprout or the intricacies of someone's iris. Maybe one day I'll get a macro lens just for the poetic shots I can get out of it. The next part of the shot list are the angles of each shot. You can mix and match the different shots and angles to create the effect that you want. Here are a few examples. A mid shot at eye level. A mid shot at high angle. A wide shot at low angle. Excuse my poor composition here. I should have pulled the table out of the way, but here we are. A mid shot over the shoulder. Over the shoulder angles give the shot more depth. You can use a plant like I did, or literally shoot over someone's shoulder. The bird's eye view. Guess which tripod I'm using for this angle? Yep, the mega tripod. Finally, the point of view angle. I love playing with this angle the most because it's so good for first-person storytelling. Each scene of mine contains at least 3 variations of these combinations. I'll tell you why after we go over the rest of these basic steps. When I'm moving around a lot in a scene, I want to use the autofocus or AF to make sure that I stay in focus no matter what I'm doing. Autofocus also allows me to manipulate the depth of field to change the focus of my subject while I'm filming. If I want my camera to focus on one particular area the whole time, I'll change it to manual focus. Next is the shutter speed. The shutter speed controls the amount of frames per second. The most cinematic shutter speed that my camera can capture is 1 out of 50, which is the closest I can get to what we see in the movies. Professional movie makers use very expensive equipment to record at 24 frames per second to create that very smooth cinematic movement, but that's not completely necessary for us. The shutter speed of 1 out of 50 or 25 frames per second is perfect. Here I am celebrating our 200K milestone at the shutter speed of 1 out of 50. Here I am celebrating at shutter speed 1 out of 13. As you can see, there's a huge lag or blur in between each frame. We almost never want that. And here I am celebrating at shutter speed 1 out of 1000. As you can see, it's much better to make slow-mo videos when there are more frames per second. For normal videos, we don't want this brisk and choppy movement unless we're going to slow it down. Next is the ISO. In short, the ISO controls the amount of light you let in. If it's dark, you want a higher ISO. If it's bright outside, you want a lower ISO. But here's the drawback. The higher the ISO, the more grainy your films will be. An ideal ISO to film in is 250, but sometimes you just have to adjust. When filming, I also like to stick with natural lighting as much as possible. If I absolutely have to use artificial lighting, I'll use warm LED lights to create a cozier atmosphere. And the beautiful thing about videography is that you don't need to show the same movement the entire time for the audience to know that that's what you're doing. Even while the camera focuses on the plants around me, the viewer would assume that I'm probably still watering the plants. These shots are called B-rolls. They're meant to portray how time is passing slowly. To capture interesting B-rolls, pay close attention to the space around you. I like to grab at least 20 seconds worth of each B-roll, in case I need more footage later. Perhaps the biggest difference between playing B-rolls and showing a montage is that a montage portrays how time is passing quicker. Here's an example of a montage of me cleaning. One can assume that I've deep cleaned my whole house just by seeing a few quick representations of how I did it. Back to storytelling. In order to highlight an important movement, try to get at least 3 different angles of the situation. The variety of angles will add much more visual interest than just one straight shot of you pouring hot water into a bowl. This is what it looks like when I'm filming a close-up. Filming myself filming was quite an experience. By the way, I'm absolutely floored by the iPhone 11 Pro camera quality. Phones have come such a long way. Even if you can't afford a proper camera right now, you can honestly just use your phone. It all starts by treating your phone like it's a professional camera. I'll demonstrate by filming this entire next portion with my iPhone. Pretty cool, right? You can do it too, with the simplest of tools, just your phone and a tripod. Next, I'll show you how I record my audio. You'll be surprised at how simple the setup is. Check. Okay, so this is exactly what it looks like when I record for you guys. I just sit here on the floor with this potato of a microphone on my bench. I kind of like this cute little setup, and this might also explain why I don't talk like the most enthusiastic YouTuber. Um, and that's not what I'm going for either. I want to create a very relaxing and calming environment for you guys, especially for the people who have been traumatized in the past or who just want a peaceful oasis on YouTube, really. This is not scripted at all, so I hope you'll forgive me, but this is the behind the scenes, and I hope this will give you guys a bigger appreciation, I guess, for the creative process. And I really hope it inspires you to start creating wherever you are. It doesn't matter if you have a mansion or like a little one-bedroom apartment, or if you have a recording studio or sitting on the floor just like me. You can still create works of art if your heart is in it. So after I'm done recording and uploading everything, I'll open up Premiere Pro to start editing. Here's a quick tutorial of my opening routine on Premiere. I just opened a new bin. We can name it Stuff. In the Stuff bin, I'll drag a black background, import the voiceover, add the track, and create an adjustment layer for my filter later on. I'll basically be editing until it's time to wind down and sleep. I hope you guys enjoyed the behind the scenes look on how I record and edit my devotional videos. I learned a lot of this through Skillshare, which you can sign up now for a 2-month free trial. They offer thousands of classes to teach you all sorts of creative and entrepreneurial skills, including storytelling and videography. One of my favorite classes in this subject is Cinematography Basics by Zach Mulligan. He teaches you how to create a detailed shot list and shows you what the shots look like. It's a very interesting learning experience. There are also dozens of other classes to teach you all the tricks of the trade. Even without the 2-month free trial, Skillshare is still very affordable, especially when compared to pricey in-person classes or workshops. An annual subscription is less than $10 a month. You can sign up for the free trial in my description. Have a fun time creating your own masterpiece.